Hello you lovely people. Do you sometimes crave something a bit 90s flight sim wise, with the old school graphics but excellent gameplay? Well, I'm going to review something a little bit special. This is Tiny Combat Arena. I've had the game since release. I've held off doing any sort of review on it purely because it's on early access and is allegedly supposed to be for 12 to 18 months. So we're just over 12 months in the early access, and a lot has happened in that time, and it's progressed and become its own and started to blossom. So let's just have a look. It's still not at the stage where you can have campaigns and things like that. Well, not proper campaigns, and it's not online. I'm not sure if it's going to be, but let's just go through the user interface to start with. And as you come to this title screen, which is very basic, and obviously you've got your options there, and follow development here. You've got the change log, join Discord. If you do find yourself interested in this, I definitely recommend you join the Discord and follow Y485 on Twitter. He's the developer, and yeah, if you click here, this will get you straight into joining the page, and then you can check out the page in the Discord while you're there. Okay, so over the left side we have the options. We've got quick battle, arena campaigns, database, settings, and exit game. So we'll start from the bottom up. Exit game, obviously exits. Settings, pretty good. Like I say, everything's pretty basic. Don't expect anything in depth like flight sim or DCS. This is a flashback to when flight sims were fairly simple and fun to fly. So yeah, don't expect anything in depth. Track IR can be enabled, which is an absolute bonus. We're going to the gameplay. You can change your damage from full or to disabled completely. Fuel consumption you can have as full or as unlimited. Gun ammo, again, just a limited amount. You can have 3 times the amount or 5 times the amount, or unlimited. You can have weighted stores, so it affects the aircraft in flight. You can have your G-forces tolerances disabled, reduced, or full. Head-up display, you can have fixed or helmet-mounted display, and you change the scales. You can have allies shown on threat warning or hide them, and the same with radar display. You can show allies on and off. Go to controls. You set up your flight sticks. I'm using my X56 HOTAS Rhino, and it works just fine. So just going in and setting those up. Camera views, you can fiddle with these. I've not done so because I know I'll end up messing it up if I do. And then you've got audio. You can change all the effects in cockpit and things like that. So let's close that. We'll come to database. This is the main reason why I did everything backwards. So your aircraft flying in this sim is the Aviate-B. Unfortunately, you can't. Well, you can fly the others, but you need to change a few things in some of the files for that to happen. But you won't get like a proper cockpit or anything for them. And I'm not sure if other aircraft are going to be implemented on the way. I know that it's a popular thing and has been asked about. Whether that'll actually happen or not, I don't know. In fixed wing and all, this is all we have at the moment in terms of wingmen and targets. So we click F4E. Okay, it'll give you all the spiel about it and description. Yeah, So I mean, as I say, don't expect awesome graphics. This is a, a you know a pullback to when things were more simpler, and it was more about the gameplay than the graphics in general. The F4 looks the part, and will certainly be a great wingman if you end up flying with them. If we go to F5 again, don't expect anything in depth, but they do what they do, and they do them well. This has really come on leaps and bounds since the first release, and the AI, both ground units and air units, really do their own thing very well. So onto the USSR targets. Like I say, it's a throwback to the 90s. The USSR was still a thing when we started the 90s, and this is where it seems to be set at. So we've got the MiG-21, obviously all the bits and pieces there, a bit of description and tactics, and then we've got the MiG-23 MLA fighter, swing wing, and yeah, it certainly looks the part as well. And then come back down to Aviate, and there we go, you have your aircraft there. If we go to air defense, we'll click all. These are the ground units that you'll probably end up going after, rather than the other stuff to allow the bombers to go in properly. But we've got the M163, the Shilka M3, the Zu-57, the SA-2, and those of you who fly DCS will know what that is, and the Strela, which is an absolute beast. Fires close range infrared ground to air missiles, and they're a bit of a I can't swear on my videos, but yeah, they're annoying. Let's put it at that. Munitions, we've got a hell of a lot of munitions on here, from all the AIM 7s, AIM 9s, the old school AIM 82s, R3, R35s, R23, R23T, R24R, R24T, R60, good old Maverick, Mark 82, bog standard, Snake Eye, Mark 83, Mark 84, the Mark 20 Rockeye, 300-gallon tanks for the Aviate-B, the SA-2 missiles here, and it gives you all the information, which is really nice if you want to come and check these out. And this is the Strela's deadly munition that you won't know is coming after you until it's left the actual launcher itself. So yeah, rotary wing at the moment, nothing. Ground vehicles, all. So we've got the M60A1, M1, M1A1, T6D2 mod, T80B, M113, and the BTR-70. Again, everything's got its own descriptions. And then sea vessels, we've not got at the moment, as it's still, like I say, early access. So if we come out of the database, if we go to Arena Campaign, you can see some of these campaigns have been added, but game development and testing, I'm in the bug testing version of the game. This may not show in the standard version, but yeah, we have a simple mission, very simple mission to test objective stars. Secondary objective, they've got the Ikarin, Marasa, and then objective 3, you've got Toramaru, which are, these are islands, You start time 10 o'clock in the morning. Available pilots 8, aircraft available AV-8B, and then you can launch from there. Now if we go over to quick battle, you can see we've got a map. This is the only map at the moment, but there are others being worked on at the moment because Y485 has hired another developer to help with that part of the game. If we look, we get our little small line chain used for training. It's 50 kilometers by 50 kilometers, and it has 2 main airfields. So that's selected. You can change your time of day from dawn to dusk, basically. Start at dawn. You can choose your loadout for your AV-8B. I'm going to go clean because this is just a free flight. I'm just going to show you what the islands look like. But you can select loadout. You can have dogfight, air superiority, strike, base attack, close air support, ranged anti-tank, endurance, light attack, and high drag bombs. And this will load your Harrier out with whatever is included in those configurations. So I'm going to stick with clean. This will give me still give me 300 rounds of ammunition. Store's empty, fuel 100%, weights gives us all up weight in different parts of the aircraft, and our thrust to weight ratio basically. So we'll continue. Now we can choose where we take off from. We can take off from Sand Island Air Base, Expeditionary, Nazarene Army Airfield, or Toramaru Air Base. Sand Island Air Base is where you'll start many of your strike missions and things like that, so it's a good one to get used to. If we start our sortie, first thing you'll notice is that head tracker actually moves and we can look around the aircraft properly. Bit of a bonus compared to what we had back in the early 90s, and we couldn't move our head at all unless we went through the manual and used the keyboard. Now speaking of cockpit, if we look around, very basic inside, still got all the switches and knobs that are supposed to be there, but it's supposed to be simplistic. That is the idea of this game, is to throw back to the early 90s and back to sort of a nostalgia feeling when flying. But you do get areas of the cockpit that do contain vital information. So you've got your HUD. It's in fixed mode at the moment, and so therefore is not fitting in the HUD properly. I think this is just simply so you can switch between fixed and helmet mounted display without having to program anything extra into it at the moment, which gives us all our data. Gives our Mach, our G, throttle, nozzle position, speed, altitude, rad out underneath that. Then it tells us our gears down, our flaps are down, and the brake is on, and we're in nav mode. Coming down from the top, got option display unit there, or ODU, showing off chaff and flare. On the right hand side we've got our engine display unit, or EDU, RPM, temp, flow, nozzle position. Then we've got our UFC up front controller, tells us we don't have a target, and like I say, we've got all our information on the two MFDs, so fuel, ground speed, vertical speed, things like that. Once we get up into the air, all of that change with the nozzles and things. Gives us our endurance, our fuel, our range, which at the moment we're not flying, so it's not giving us a range. Our heading, altitude, ground speed, airspeed true, and airspeed indicated. Down here we've got our fuel on board, and we will get a low fuel warning once we hit that marker. Now looking at the fixed parts of the display, if we look down at the right hand corner where it says scan 10 miles, that's our radar. We've got no targets on there at the moment, and that is the range of the radar at the moment. Left hand side we've got our RWR, and it's telling us how many flares and chaff we have left. It's in auto range at 10 miles, and then next to that in the red is our controller movements. Now we'll just go through the views quickly. So F1 on the keyboard will put you in this view. F2 if you hold the right button down on the mouse and move it around, we can have a look around the aircraft. As you can see, it's nicely modelled and textured for this type of design. And if we move our nozzles move, and so do our flaps. If we go around the back, flaps drop down automatically. If we press F3, we get our chase view. F4 is our flyby static. F5 gives us a padlock cockpit mode. F8 gives us another external, and F11 gives us free cam. Now this comes in very handy. We can use the WASD keys on our keyboard to move around and use our mouse as well. So if we go up to about 2,000 feet, have a look around, I'll show you the map. Okay, so if we look around, we've got Toramaru down here, we've got a couple of islands over there, small island there, and another larger island over there, which will be, no, it's not Toramaru, sorry, Toramaru will be over there. This is our sand base, which we will be flying from. So if we go into F1 view, I'm going to taxi to the runway, so take brake off, throttle up ever so slightly. Okay, and the sounds are quite good for this aircraft. Very Pegasus sounding, and it's been very well done. Okay, so speed up to the end of the runway. Okay, brakes are on. So ground handling is very good, responds well to the rudder pedals, and is not over the top or too heavy. So let's get this aircraft rolling. So we're going to throttle up, I'll let the brakes off, and then we're going to do short field. I'll rotate once at around about 80 knots and rotate to about 60 to 70 degrees, and we should lift off. So throttle up, brakes off, rotate nozzles, and we're up. Gear up. Okay, I'm going to rotate the nozzles forward, get ourselves moving. Now, aircraft handling, aileron rolls pretty good, as you would expect. Let's see what it's like in the pitch. Pitch is good, responds nicely. Throttle back. Okay, I will show you around the map very quickly. I don't want to be spending too much on that. And then we'll come back to the sand base and do some landing. Up we go. Okay, so we want to be heading in that direction. Pull over the top. So much fun to fly, it really is. And we switch to gun. I'll just show you that quickly. I love the way that the nose dips as a reaction to the gun firing. Nice little detail added there. Usually an afterthought or not even thought of at all. And at the moment the maps look pretty tame. That's because there are no actual units on there at the moment. I've just chosen free flight just purely to show you around the maps so that I don't get interrupted. We're flying through this cloud here. Okay, we've got a small army airfield down here to our left. And then we have Toromaru up there. That's where we're going to head to. Usually there'd be lots of surface to air activity and obviously ground activity as well, as you have lots of AI doing their own thing. You've got these little outposts in between airfields that will become places to blow up, and you'll get a percentage of whatever's blown up. You try and destroy bases and things like that. So it's pretty old school in its ways in trying to destroy as much as possible rather than going for a specific target. Okay, so that's Toromaru, and that will be where the enemy will fly from. Like, it's not a very big map at all in its sense, but once it's in use for a proper mission with enemies and things, everything becomes very blurred. Okay, so we do a flyby of Toromaru, and we'll head back to Sand Base. Now I would be a ball of flame by now if this airbase was in use. Okay, now we're going to choose quick battle again. Going to change the free flight to strike. Loadout is already in strike. We've got 300 rounds of ammunition, 2 AIM-82s, 2 Mark 83s and 6 Mark 20s. Fuel 55%. All up weight in different categories, and our thrust to weight ratio is now 0.88%. So continue. The factions: United States versus Soviet Union. Distance 5 miles. I believe that's flying into. I'll bring that back a bit further. Our target is the Army airfield. Vehicle formations none. Aircraft wings, we have 2 F5s flying with us, and we're up against 2 rookie MiG-21s. We can change that to different levels and how many we have, but we don't want to flood the sky. So let's start the sortie, and I've got to destroy a strategic target defended by aircraft and vehicles. So let's get going. Okay, so we're 10 miles out. Targets are circled by the big red outlines over there. RWR has just gone off to let us know that the MiG-21s are off our nose. I'll try and mix in with the MiG-21s, but we do have two friendly F5s next to me here. And as the AIM-82s aren't great, if I do get in the mix, it will be for gunshots only. So let's get in the merge. Oh, Christ. Splash one MiG-21. Where's his mate? I see a parachute, at least he got out. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come on, F5s, you're supposed to be the fighters here. Oh, F5's having a pop. Go on. Yay! Splash 2, MiG-21s. No time for celebrating, I've got a mission to do. Mark 83s. got the barracks, that's pretty good. Onto the Mark 20s. 77% damage. Come on, I've not got much fuel left. Not going to do much damage against big targets. I'll give up on that and head home. I think I've gone in the wrong direction. Yeah, I have. Oh, might as well make one more pass then. I don't think I'm going to get home on £1,400 of fuel. Nice. Okay, let's head home. Drop these last two. Get rid of those. So in summary, Tiny Combat Arena, it's full of potential. It's very early stages still, even after a year, with the developer constantly putting updates on Twitter and on the Discord. It's turned out to be a little bit of a gem, one of the ones that not a lot of people know about for some reason. But for just over £15 on Steam, definitely an investment. It's definitely going to be going places once it hits well, full version 1. Like I say, you can have a lot of fun with it. It's just my getaway, just to shoot things down and just have some fun without the seriousness of it all. If they implement a multiplayer, perhaps you can have a couple of your friends flying with you as well. That would be quite good, but that would probably be a bit off in the distance. But like I say, this thing is just pure nostalgia. It's a throwback to when flight sims weren't so demanding as they are today, with social media having people just bombard you with questions and tearing each other apart over silly little things. This was just pure simple gameplay. Just brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Great graphics. I love the old school design of it all. The sounds are good. The combat is good. Everything seems to work as it should. No real complaints, and it has some seriously positive reviews over on Steam. I don't believe it has anything negative about it. It's all in the blue. So yeah, if you want a bit of fun, bit of nostalgia, punt £15 at this and you're investing your money, really, because it's only going to get better. So I'm going to end it here, and I think I'm going to go back to my bed because I'm still feeling rather crap. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for getting this far, and for subscribing and all that faff. Yeah, take care, and I will see you in the next one.